Encoding can be a great way of evading SQL injection defenses because it can take characters and represent them in an entirely different form whilst actually not losing the actual intent of the character. So for signatures that are looking for very specific patterns, this can be a great implementation. Now you can use a number of different encoding patterns to circumvent this sort of defense. And the pattern you use will depend on both the context of where you inject the attack and the ability of the application to then decode that attack. So for example, something like URL encoding can be very useful at getting around a signature-based defense. But of course that URL does have to be decoded by the system. And it's the same with using something like hex. And in fact we'll see an example of using hex a little bit later on in this module. UTF-8 or Unicode is another way of encoding for evasion, and even using something like SQL's char function. Because if we pass an ASCII value in the char function, the database will kindly resolve that to a character that can be part of an injection attack once it hits the database. Now the web app, or the device in front of the web app, is often not looking for these encoding patterns. So encoding before the attack is passed in the request can be a very effective mechanism of evasion. So that's encoding, and again, lots of different ways depending on the context you're using. Let's now go and have a look at how we can still use the original attack strings, but we'll just split them up a bit.